Hello and welcome back to my studio. Glad you could join me today for this next sketch. And I've decided to go back to the East Coast for this picture. I found this photograph in my files from a trip we'd taken out to the East Coast of Canada a few years ago. I'm not quite sure exactly where it is. It could be Newfoundland, it could be Nova Scotia. Either way, it's got that East Coast kind of Atlantic fishing village vibe that is quite pleasant. I decided to start with the small boat in the foreground just to get something on the paper and to have a starting point. The shape of the boat is quite nice. They're always pleasant to look at, and I thought that would be a good place to start, and then draw the other aspects of the drawing to go with that. There's another small boat pulled up on shore behind it. I included that as well. Then on, I just kind of simplified the buildings in the background. There are quite a few things going on back there. It's always something to try to figure out which buildings you want to put in your sketch and which ones you want to leave out. To keep the fishing village look, but not to make it overly complicated for the eye and confusing. There's always certain parts that draw my attention as a sketcher. The pilings underneath the building and the dark underneath, showing up the pilings, is always good. It's a very coastal thing. The fishing shacks and the pilings and the wharfs. We've spent some good holidays on the coast. So when I draw something like this, it's bringing back memories of the smells you get from the coastal areas, the seaweed and the feel of the place, the friendliness of the people. That all comes back when I'm drawing something like this. And I wanted to keep this just to a simple pen drawing. But this is a drawing that you could also take a little bit further, add some color to it, because it does have some nice reds and the blues of the water and the sky, of course, would all come together quite nice. I simplify the background trees just to go with the whole simple look of the sketch. You don't want to get overly complicated back there and take the interest away from the foreground. And I start to shade in the darker areas and where the shadows are in the drawing. And it all starts to come together. And this is where you start to decide how much and where you want the marks and the details and the shadow. It's always a good idea to have in your mind where the light is coming from. It seems to be coming from the left in this scene, so a lot of the shadows will be on the right side of objects and buildings and whatever's. Some of the shading is for the actual tone of the area as well, like those rocks are a little darker, so I decided to put some shading down there. And of course any of the shading and darker areas will accent the lighter areas, the white areas. And then there's the water, ripples on the water. Quite important to get down, especially if you don't color the drawing. You want to get the idea that this is water, and you can indicate very simply reflections and shadows of things that are on the water or above the water. And there again, kind of keeping in mind how simple you want to make the whole drawing, so not making any particular area more complicated, more detailed than any other. And having those nice darks behind the buildings will kind of accent the buildings as well. They play against each other. And I decided to add a few of the marks of the siding on the buildings, the clapboard, just to add a little bit more interest without overdoing the detail again. So I stopped for a few seconds, always taking my time and relaxing while I'm doing these things, not kind of rushing and doing a line that I can't take away after. So I do give it a little bit of thought as I go along. And don't get me wrong, a lot of drawings don't work out. But usually if you take your time and you think about each move, they turn out not too bad. It's even a good idea sometimes just to leave it part way, and I believe I did that for this drawing. Go get a cup of tea, come back, even the next day, and look at it again and add a few more lines that you see are needed. Well, thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you again. Take care.